Faith-Based Health Tools Part 2. This resource is the Part 2 of the resource on faith-based health tools. It aims to share the health benefits for believing in a higher power or a supreme God as contributions to your overall or holistic health. To attain and maintain your holistic health, it is not only about the formalized professional care, but there are many other supports available to you. These other supports include tapping into your spiritual life, romantic relationship, friendships, family bond, community life, safe, traditional or ancient healing, and so on. This Part 2 of the resource covers a continuation of the specific faith-based tools to include afterlife, belongingness and communal assistance, prayers, divine providence and music, songs and praises, the cost of believing or not believing, a time to reflect, the thin line between harmful and helpful faith beliefs, the question of whether or if you are afraid of faith, a higher power, or a supreme God, and final reflections. The cost of believing includes facing the reality of your mortality and the reality that you cannot live a reckless life without some accountability after you die. While people of faith accept the reality of their mortality and the reality of the cost of believing, they also accept the reality of reward after they die. Should there be no afterlife, the people of faith lose nothing because they would have had the best possible life on earth for believing, and their belief would have served them well on earth. The calculated risk taken by people who do not believe is that should there be an afterlife, they stand to lose everything, except if there is some divine intervention to rescue their souls. The starting point of the calculated risk is the shock of facing the very reality of an afterlife you denied and rejected on earth. It could be said that your non-belief is fully respected, but it should not invalidate another person's belief in their higher power or supreme God. The question is your higher power or supreme God simply a made-up or read-up philosophy or story? If your made-up or read-up philosophical higher power or God is meeting your spiritual and secular needs, then it should sound fine to you. But what if you have and can pray to a higher power or God who is real, true, and alive, and not a dead or a made-up higher power or God? What if this higher power allows you to experience a two-way personal and supernatural relationship? Grants you a parent-child connection or bond to the extent that you are free to scream, cry, and share all your anger, pains, and burdens. You are able to relate to and talk to your higher power or supreme God as your divine or heavenly parent. This higher power permits you a friendship, unconditional and non-judgmental love, though you could be firmly disciplined with compassion, as a parent does to a disobedient child. If you do not at the moment have this kind of higher power or a supreme God and you like to explore more, you may seek guidance from a friend or someone close to you who is already living this lifestyle. Maybe your starting point of prayer is to ask your higher power or a supreme God to teach you how to form a spiritual relationship. Do you do all the talking and never give space or time to listen to your higher power or supreme God to talk back to you or to respond to you? In a relationship, the two people involved do communicate with each other. When one person speaks, the other person has to listen, and there is a mutual talk back. Sometimes faith or belief can be harmful as well as useful, depending on how you see it. For example, I must be skinny to be beautiful may mean exercising and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. But it can be harmful, as it is damaging to think you are not good enough or beautiful when you cannot see or appreciate that you already have a perfect natural beauty and normal body. Another example is, I have faith, therefore I do not need a medical doctor and medication. This belief could be harmful if you are misinterpreting the voice or the guidance of your higher power or supreme God, who is nudging you to receive healing or cure through your health professional and medication. And then there is no God, no supernatural, no judgment, no guilt. Therefore, I can harm people to attain my pleasure, as long as I do not get caught by the human justice system. This too can be a harmful belief. Faith is believing first before seeing. This is tough and it scares some scientists, health professionals, and a lot of other people. To dare to have faith or to believe in a higher power or a supreme God, there is a cost or an expectation that some people are unwilling to comply with or accept. Examples are shared in this section. You simply love to be your own God. Therefore, you do not like to share your honor or your glory, your supremacy, your godness, your freedom, etc. with another higher power or a supreme God. You are afraid that if you commit and surrender to a higher power or a supreme God, you will lose your sense of power and become a lesser being. So it is all about you wanting to reign equal to any higher power or a supreme God. You want to be worshipped, praised and glorified by yourself, or by the people under your personal, professional, managerial or political care, and by the people around you. You do not want a radical acceptance to surrender your free will to do certain things that are not compatible with the expectations of your higher power or a supreme God. For example, you have to keep away from stealing your neighbors, your employers, or your friends' properties, even if the opportunity presents itself. Respect and do not steal what does not belong to you, including your neighbor's wife, husband, or romantic partner. Some people who do not like to submit to a higher power or a supreme God want to live a life of total freedom to do whatever they want, including having no qualms to cheat on their romantic partners, business partners, or the earth given to us as our home, climate abuse, etc. This does not mean everyone who has no higher power or a supreme God goes about cheating, or that everyone who has a higher power or a supreme God does not cheat. It is a fact that some people or institutions who said they believed in a higher power or a supreme God do misbehave more or engage in more shameful actions compared to people or institutions who do not have a higher power or a supreme God. Is it tough to accept not to run away from believing even when something hurtful or uncomfortable happened to you? Some people stopped believing in their higher power or supreme God because they felt their prayers were not answered when they desperately needed support. For example, you prayed or cried for a miracle for yourself, and you did not notice any changes, or you prayed for someone you loved and the person still died. Therefore, you are pissed with or angry towards your higher power or supreme God. Why not engage in a serious conversation and tell your higher power or supreme God how much you feel disappointed and pissed off, and ask for some explanations, guidance, and what next? Someone once said, "You see the small and immediate picture of today or of the now, but the supreme God is a master strategist who plans a decade, a century, or 1,000 years ahead into your future generations." Disappointed by faith leaders or members of a faith community, for example, the sex abuse scandals in faith communities, or a position they have taken on a political or a social issue you disagree with, Why abandon your child-parent relationship or bond with your higher power or supreme God because of other people or a human institution? You can simply move to a different faith community that you feel comfortable with. Or if you have the resources, go ahead to create your own faith community instead of remaining without one. The opportunity to create, if practicable, your faith community may be one factor driving the multiplication of faith groups across the globe. You see things as too traditional or too old-fashioned to your taste. You are too anxious, too scared, or too worried to believe in a higher power or a supreme God. You are afraid that if you believe or accept, you may become too vulnerable as your current psychological or emotional shield of not believing shall fall apart, and you will end up learning to trust your higher power or your supreme God as a child trusts his, her, or their parent. This will be too scary for you. Is it not? You see things as too modern to your taste and have lost their traditional flavor. For example, a psychologist colleague of the lead author of this resource stopped attending the mosque despite growing up as a Muslim, yet he will find the older generation of mosques to go to and spend reflective or quiet time all by himself. He would say the modern mosque buildings have lost the aura of serenity and spirituality. You are not being well informed of or exposed enough to the benefits of having a higher power or supreme God. You have been informed more on the cons or negatives from other people's bad experiences. Do you have I am too much syndrome? You may feel or think that it is better to worship your own God of pride than to accept or believe in a higher power or a supreme God. It is far beneath your status. Your I am too much syndrome may manifest in a number of ways. I am too academically educated and too qualified to listen to that nonsense. I am too rich or wealthy for that type of thing. I am too intelligent or smart for that garbage. I am too politically connected, so I cannot be seen associating with religious fanatics. Religion is for low minds and misfits. Religious people have nothing better to do with their time. I am too busy to find time. I have better things to do. Religious people scare me. I cannot have anything to do with those religious guilt peddlers. Places of worship and religious leaders are sex abusers, or many more I am too. Some, a lot, or all the above coming from you are not unjustified. This is because you must have had a personal horrible experience or heard of horrible things. For example, financial crimes, sexual abuse, religious persecutions, crusades, etc., done by corporate religious groups. Corporate religion has a grotesque history of, and is still doing a lot of horrible things. But your believing in a higher power or a supreme God is not about corporate religion. It is about your personal relationship with your higher power or supreme God. And this is a key reason many people still appreciate and hold on to a faith community that gives them social and spiritual belonging and contributes to their holistic health. For example, many of the UK news media broadcasted in 2022 that the late Queen Elizabeth of the United Kingdom, who died on 8 September 2022, went on her knees to pray daily. The Queen had everything on earth from education, gold, money, etc. to a glorious status that gave her the absolute right to boast of I am too much. Yet she believed in her higher power or supreme God. Must she be actually dumb to believe, while you must be superior to her from wealth to comfort, global status, and the glory any human can enjoy on earth? So is it your academic qualifications, job title, wealth, or horrible experiences at the hand of corporate religion that entitles you to belittle, look down, hate, frown at, or run away from your higher power or supreme God, or people who believe in a higher power or supreme God? What shall happen, or how shall it feel like if the late Queen Elizabeth is right that there is actually a higher power, a supreme God, and afterlife? It has been stated earlier in this chapter that people who believe in a higher power, a supreme God, an afterlife as part of their coping toolkit for their holistic health shall gain much and lose nothing if what they believed never existed when they die. Again, it is okay to enjoy your decision and choice not to believe in a higher power, a supreme God, and afterlife, but do respect other people's decision and choice to believe in a higher power, a supreme God, and afterlife. Are you a victim of a deliberate campaign to delete or cancel out a higher power or supreme God? These campaigns may be sponsored or engineered by some anti-higher power or anti-supreme God media, professionals, governments, charities, schools, etc. It is worth commenting that if your higher power or supreme God is real and alive to you, no human campaign or decision to delete or cancel out will make any difference, because what has always existed will remain existing whether people accept it or not. Hold on to your higher power or supreme God if that makes you happy, safe, and resilient. The question for you, if you have or want to have a higher power or a supreme God: what does a healthy relationship with your higher power or supreme God mean to your holistic health? What does faith in your ability to achieve good things beyond your human imagination, for yours and humanity's benefits, mean to your holistic health? Are you receiving health or other types of benefits at the personal or individual level from your higher power or supreme God? Does your higher power or supreme God assist you to live a more balanced daily holistic health life? Does your higher power or supreme God support you to cope well when science, medicine, and medication exhausted their support for you? Does your higher power or supreme God assist you to cope along with available scientific and medical support? If you like this video and want to see more videos, do click the like, notification, and subscribe buttons that appear along this video. If you are ready to take control of your mental well-being, could you or someone you love be the next person we assist? If yes, you may. Buy other video and audio resource, PDF files at or for exclusive well-being, questions and answers, Q&A, join www.patreon.com/healthcityuck. Buy the print book that contains the topic of this video and many more topics, or other well-being books at www.discountshop.healthcity.org.uk/shop-2/. Book a remote or face-to-face counseling, psychological treatment, and/or a webinar or a course at www.healthcity.org.uk. Where else do I get help? Professional support through your doctor or your professionally trained and accredited local therapist. You may book remote or face-to-face treatment sessions at. You may also search online for accredited counselors or therapists offering remote support. Risk and emergency contacts for people living in the United Kingdom. If you are in the UK and consider yourself to be a risk to yourself or others, please contact Samaritans. Phone 08457909090. Sanaline. Phone 0300304700 079849677708. Your doctor, GP. For people living in other countries. If you are overseas and consider yourself being a risk to yourself or to others, please contact your friends, family members, and your local accident and emergency agencies. Disclaimer. This resource, as well as all other materials of the Twin Brain Looted and its sister organizations, do not provide emergency services and must not be used as an alternative to professional medical advice. You must consult a trained medical professional if you are worried about your health or the health of someone else. Twin Brain Looted and its entire sister organizations cannot be held liable for the use of its resource.